Hello, dear students. Hope you all are safe and healthy at home. As we were doing our second chapter of civics, the United Nations, so today we will continue with the organs of United Nations. As we have already covered two of the organs, the General Assembly and the Security Council, today we will start with the Economic and Social Council. The Economic and Social Council is the central body for coordinating the economic and social work of the United Nations and the UN family of organizations. It means the Council deals with economic, social, cultural, and humanitarian problems, and it tries to promote cooperation among member states in these areas of activities in order to secure lasting peace in the world. And this Economic and Social Council has 54 member nations elected from all regions, and you can say as much as 70% of the work of the UN system is devoted to promoting higher standards of living, and these members are elected by the General Assembly for 3 years, and one-third of its members retire after every year. And new members are elected by the General Assembly to fill these vacancies. And main function is to promote higher standards of living. So to meet these specific needs, the General Assembly has set up a number of specialized agencies like Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, the World Health Organization (WHO), the UN Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, the UN Development Programme, the UN Children's Fund, the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, and the work of these agencies and programs is coordinated by Economic and Social Council. Our next one is the Trusteeship Council. This Trusteeship Council was assigned under the UN Charter to supervise the administration of trust territories. And this council was established for the better administration of those territories which were once in the possession of Germany, Italy, and Japan. And this system was created at the end of the Second World War to promote the advancement of the inhabitants of those dependent territories and their progressive. So the objective of Trusteeship Council is to help these territories to attain their independence from the foreign rule, and 11 such countries were placed under UNO trusteeship immediately after the Second World War. It may be mentioned here that territories had become independent in 1994. The next one is the International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice is the UN's main judicial organ. Same like in India we have judiciary. In that united organization there is also International Court, which we call as World Court. And it consists of 15 judges who are jointly elected by the General Assembly and the Security Council. And they are elected for 9 years, with one-third judges retire after every 3 years. And no two judges should belong to one country. And there is a provision of re-election also, means a retiring judge can be re-elected. And the seat of the International Court of Justice is at The Hague in the Netherlands. And the main function of this International Court of Justice is to give legal opinion to any of the organ of the United Nations, but that on request, but that opinion is not binding, means they are not bound to follow their suggestion or advice. And the court also decide legal matters between two states, but it can only be possible when both the states are all contended parties agree to bring the issues before the court. And we should be proud that from India, B.N. Bran and Dr. Nagendra Singh served in International Court of Justice, with the later remaining its president, and Sri R.S. Pathak of our country was the last Indian to serve as a judge of this international court. And the last one is the Secretariat. The Secretariat is made up of an international staff working at UN headquarters in New York, and it has so many offices like in Geneva, Vienna, Nairobi, and other locations. And this secretariat consists of departments and offices with a total staff of around 16,000, which is taken from some 175 countries. And this secretariat is headed by the Secretary General. And they can bring to the attention of the Security Council any matter which in his opinion. And these members, these international employees, they have to take an oath that they will not receive any instructions from their own country. They all work under the guidance and command of the Secretary General, and they help the UNO to carry out its responsibilities as best as possible. So today we have completed our UN organs. Hope you understood the topic. Till then, read the related content. Thank you and have a nice day.